All right, good afternoon, everybody. Iona College and all listeners. We're back for another week of WICR, VGSportsHub. Vinny the Don of Sports here, live as the host, and to my left, my co-host, Gio the G-Shocker.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to dive right in right now. We got a lot to talk about today with MLB just opening up and the national championship occurring last night. Great game. Congratulations to the Blue Devils of Duke. One of my favorite college teams, and work paid off for the group of kids down there. The 4 starting freshmen coming in the first year and winning a national championship, and of course for the much respected Quinn Cook in his final senior game. Cook wasn't as much of a factor in this game, but obviously his leadership as a senior definitely played a role. Very emotional in the ending of the game. Coach K, very emotional. Everyone very emotional. I seen tears coming out of Tyus Jones, Jalil Okafor. But first we'll get into the game. So, G, you watched the game. I was watching the game, sort of. I was in a bit of a commotion, but let me hear what you have to say about what you thought about the game.
Yeah, I watched the game. As you know, I mean, we haven't done that many shows, but I've just like you got into soccer. I've been trying to get into the NCAA season for basketball. I don't really follow college basketball. I follow NBA. So you told me the teams to look out for during the year, the big guys, a couple smaller schools, but I kept track of teams like Kentucky and Duke and whatnot. So I had to catch a national championship. I think everybody watches that, no matter if you follow college basketball or not. But the game was really good. I thought the first half was kind of, I mean, it was more even than the second half. Obviously, it ended in a tie. I think it was 31-31 or something like that. A half, yeah, and it looked pretty even. I think Duke was doing well from the line, and that was one of the key points that the people, the crew at halftime pointed out, saying that usually Wisconsin is always an advantage at the free throw line, but Duke was last night.
Yeah, they actually shot. Ironically, that was smart that you brought that up. Duke normally they have great free throw shooters, but Wisconsin has definitely always been dominant on the free throw side. Duke shot 16 of 20, which came out to 80% from the line, while Wisconsin shot 6 of 10, only 60%. So you only got to the line and made 6 points off that. And they only ended up winning by 5, so you do the math.
Right, plus 10 for Duke, right there. So
exactly.
That was a big factor. And then the second half, there was runs from both teams, but in the end, in the stretch, we had Grayson Allen come up big for the team, another freshman, huge. I think
off the bench.
I tweeted out, this guy's my new inspiration. He came out of nowhere. He was averaging like 4 points, if that, during the season, and in the biggest game of them all, he shows up.
I think because you haven't got into college yet, Grayson Allen is one of the most underrated people in college basketball.
Is he? Well,
the most underrated person.
Well, I'm glad to see him succeed because I think they needed that for sure.
Yes.
Well, they needed him and Tyus Jones. Just there's no question, because as you probably know, also the foul trouble was huge for Duke.
Right.
Okafor and Winslow, they both had They had foul trouble. Okafor was out of the game for a while down the stretch.
Yeah.
And he's their biggest guy.
He ended with 4 fouls, so yeah.
Exactly. He didn't. None of them fouled out. I know, but he got. He was on the bench for key moments, and that's when the freshman came up big. I think Grayson Allen went on like a 5-0 run of his own. He hit a 3, hit a few and ones, layups. He was crazy last night.
Yeah.
And
Allen had 16 points off the bench in 21 minutes. 5 of 8 shooting, 5 of 5 from free throw line, and 1 of 2 from 3. So he definitely came up.
Definitely came up big, and then he set that up for Tyus.
Right.
Tyus, Mr. Minnesota, if I'm correct. I think
Minnesota,
exactly.
Yep.
He takes it away for the team. So
on the topic
game.
of Tyus Jones, also the MVP of last night.
Yes, the most outstanding player. Yes.
Yeah. Out of Applewood Valley, he great game out of him. 23 points in 37 minutes. 7 of 13 shooting, 7 of 7 perfect from the free throw line. Huge 3-pointer at the end of the game.
Huge jump shots at the end.
Yeah. Hustling. The whole team played great. I hate to be biased like this and put this all towards Duke, but this team played great. I give full credit also to Wisconsin And Frank Kaminsky, definitely a great player. And
Well, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from them.
Not
they
at
have
all, yeah.
Kaminsky and Decker, huge players for that team.
Right.
So
Now, also after the game, there were a few quotes from Bo Ryan, head coach of Wisconsin, who wasn't too thrilled about his team losing, obviously. And I quote from him, "We don't do rent a day with teams." So, meaning, what he's basically trying to say there is that, these Duke kids are going to come in and have one-and-dones.
Yep.
When, we're probably going to be seeing Jalil Okafor. We talked about earlier in the year, him coming possibly to even New York right here. You definitely got that whole team is possible first-round picks.
Yeah. It's them in Kentucky, honestly. The whole team can probably enter the draft, the starting core of that team.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And, I mean, do you think, let me ask you a question while we're on the topic here.
Yeah.
Do you think that, I know Okafor is probably declaring, but do you see, Tyus going now, too? Or do you think he's going to wait it out?
I heard, a speculation already that
he's going to declare, right?
That he said he was going to stay, but I don't think that's official yet.
Right.
I haven't really looked that far into it, but my guess, a couple of friends of mine, Frank, who's been on the show here.
Yep, Frank.
He said that he's going to the NBA from the beginning, and I was like, no, man, I think he's going to stay. So
yeah, over the course, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going to be the MVP of the national championship, it kind of boosts your stock up completely.
Yeah, I think a lot more players need to start staying for 4 years.
Yeah.
This one and done stuff is definitely not.
It ruins the program.
Yeah.
So
college teams need to build. That Wisconsin team built all around seniors.
They did.
So, hats off to Kaminsky. 21 points last night. Definitely played his heart out in his last game. I saw him very emotional at the end as well.
Yeah, he was. He was crying.
So, we just
got to give your hats off to him.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat a Kentucky team. Don't forget that.
Absolutely.
They spoiled the perfect season.
Yeah.
So that tells you the experience is there, and they had the players.
I was very happy for that because I didn't like that Kentucky team at all. I think that they were way too overhyped and that they took away a lot from Duke. Duke has had tremendous talent this year. A few teams, Kentucky has only played a couple ranked teams, and aside from those ranked teams, there were a few losses that they should have had earlier in the year between LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss. There were plenty of games where they could have definitely lost.
Yeah, and even in the tournament, there was a couple the last few games were close.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one with Wisconsin was closer for the most part down the stretch because they came back. But even the game before that, they had to battle to win. So.
Well, that'll do it with Duke. Congratulations to the whole team.
Coach K's legendary. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Thank God I got a chance to see that team play
this year. Yes, you did.
I
missed it, but that was a great moment, I'm sure.
Yeah. Tyus Jones, most outstanding player, and last week also winning MVP too in the not last week, this weekend, the game before with the Final Four, won MVP as well in that game. So that's gonna do it for NCAA. Wrapped up the whole year.
Yep.
So we'll get you back at that next year. We'll be into it. I'm going to try and get Gio very much into it.
Oh, I'll be following it.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
So next, we're going to take a short break for now, but next up, we're going to have a topic of discussion is on MLB. We just opened up the season yesterday, first regular season games. Gio over here actually went to the opening day game at Yankee Stadium.
Yes, sir. Not fun for the result, but
yeah.
we'll talk about that. We'll
get into that. So take a short break. Don't go anywhere.